I'm laughing. Good afternoon, morning, good evening, good night, wherever you guys are listening to this, whatever time of day. Welcome to another episode of Fans Friday. A little bit different. Lewis was meant to come, who's the guest, but we'll get more into him in a minute, was meant to come on next week. But the guest was meant to come on this week. He's had a family bereavement. So unfortunately, the guest, we're not going to say who it was going to be because we want that guest to come on in the future. And we want to give it a surprise. But so until that person, I nearly said it then. Jesus. Until they nearly said it, until that person's better and gone through what they've gone through, they will come on later on. She's already said. So we're going to carry on. I think by stats, I want to get myself correct. But what I want to say is the video that got released on Tuesday was the most viewed video we had in 24 hours of it going live, according to YouTube analytics. Anyway.
And the really annoying thing about that is if we'd have done it half an hour later, we would have caught absolutely everything that happened on Tuesday.
Yeah. So that's why I went live. So if there's anything that happens from now on that we don't do on the podcast, me and Ryan will either go on Periscope. I'll put my teeth. Thank you. I'll put my teeth back in. Periscope, and what we will do is we will discuss the sort of how it's going and everything on there. But we will always keep you up to date of how everything's going. I'm babbling because I'm trying to find where I found that stat, and that was really annoying me. So the one that went out on Monday is second for the amount in the first 2 days. Well, when we record this on the Thursday, 2 days and 1 hour of it going live. It's second behind the Adam interview, which is pretty good actually. Everyone's watching it through. We've got lots of watch time. People are interacting, a lot more likes as well. People commenting as well. That's basically what we want from you guys, is to get a lot more stuff and hear from you guys as well at the same time. So we carry on the theme of what we do and how we do it. We're going to carry on with Fans Friday. We're going to carry on doing this for a very long time. We absolutely love getting people on to talk. I don't like listening to Ryan. That's why we get people on.
You better let me speak anyway.
No, that's the best thing about it. So the main thing we do on this podcast now, what we're going to try and do is talk a little bit about mental health. We're not going to talk about it, but with mental health, what they say is the best thing that everyone can do is talk how they're doing. So Ryan, I'll go to you first before we introduce the beautiful guest we got, because I want to get you over and done with. So how are you? How have you been? How's your week? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, marvellous. That's a great start.
Yeah, just been working all week. Tomorrow I'm going to do just like ghost hunting thing at Fort Woodley.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Are you going to be like the Ghost Adventures? I see an apparition over there.
No.
To be fair, that is a great TV show. So everyone, welcome. He's probably is he the youngest guest we've had on? How old's Will?
17.
Second youngest guest we've had on.
I didn't realise he was that young.
No, not at all. Yeah, he acts like a bellend.
Yeah, it depends who he's talking to.
Yeah, if he's talking about Southampton, Bellend. So not Southampton, Swindon, Bellend. So yes, so Lewis, welcome to the podcast. Thank you ever so much for coming on. We're not going to get too much into job or anything like that, but let's start off with how are you? How's everything going? Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good.
Good. Right. Let's talk a little bit about yourself first. So the first thing I want to talk about is your podcast that you do. Cheeky little plug there for you lot. There you go. What we will do is we will, in the description down below of this YouTube video, is if I remember. If I haven't, please someone remind me, because I have a brain of a sieve, of this YouTube video or on Soundcloud, is we will do a link to that YouTube channel. So you guys to go and subscribe, go and like. But while you're there, subscribe to us. You know you want to. We're nearly at 50 subscribers, I think. So we're going up and up and up. 47, nearly 50. So let's talk a little bit about your podcast, because I see that you did a little bit of like a Gillette Soccer special recently. for the end of the Premier League season. So you describe to us what your podcast is and what you do on it.
Yep. So our podcast called the Connect Podcast. Basically, it's me and 6 other people total. Obviously, we rotate. And it's basically people that are going to do my course at uni.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did it because over lockdown, obviously, not really much to do. So we thought, well, why not? A bit bored, so we may as well just do something, just something to put on the TV and see how it goes. But yeah, so we literally just talk about anything football related that's quite big in the world going on at the moment. So usually Premier League stuff because English audience and stuff like that. But yeah, we pretty much do everything. The soccer special thing was something we saw an opportunity to do it because obviously all the games are at the same time and they're all live on TV, which like never ever going to happen. So we took the opportunity to do it, and it was really fun as well. I got to host that. It was brilliant. I love that. But yeah, so we have taken a bit of a break at the moment since results day and everything, because we felt like we deserved a break. But we will be coming back Monday. I think will be our next video. So yeah.
So let's talk about yourself then. So I see that I stalked you. I didn't stalk you on LinkedIn because I couldn't find you, and also you didn't send me the link. But because you said you were going to and you didn't, so I couldn't stalk you that much on LinkedIn. But I stalked you on Facebook, so that's fine. So I saw on there that you're going to Derby, if that's right.
Yes.
So tell everyone what you're studying. What made you want to get into what you're studying?
So I'm studying football journalism at Derby. It's the only course in the country that has football journalism. So it's quite unique in itself. I've always wanted to work in football. I think when you're younger, everyone wants to be a footballer because that's the thing. And then I realised very quickly that I'm not going to be that. So I thought, well, if I can't play it, why don't I just talk about it? And then in year 8, we had like a little English assessment thing, and it was journalism. We were writing news articles, and I was like, and then I just had like a light bulb moment of why don't I do this for football? So I've basically kind of known for like the last 5 years that I've kind of wanted to do this. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
That's good. That's good. So it made you want to go to Derby because that was the only place that did what you're looking to do.
Yeah. Well,
so what got you into it then? What was the main story that you looked at, or what was the main thing that you wrote that went, I want to do that?
I don't know. I don't even know if it was something I wrote. It was more just reading and looking at stuff, and it's just I talk about football constantly. Like people tell me to shut up about it sometimes. So I figured if I could just do it for a living and just get paid for it, then I mean, what's the problem with that? I guess.
So Ryan, I'm gonna spin this a bit. So Ryan, what did you want to be when you were younger then? When you were at school? Because he's actually going to go and follow his dream. What did you want to do?
Why do you have to ask me that? Because I still don't know.
How old are you?
22.
I'm 27 and I'm still struggling, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm
more of a just wing it.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah.
Ugh. So when I was younger, I wanted to be a football player, but then realised I was too fat. So that went out the window. But then I become a coach. I become a football coach. And I was a football coach for 8 years. Absolutely loved it. And then I had kids, and my patience and everything just wore thin after that. But so is there anyone that's inspired you to? Is there certain people that you look around on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you do that you look up to as the people that inspire you to do this? Apart from Courtney, obviously.
Oh yeah, no. I remember seeing Courtney like a year ago, and literally he was just getting everything right. I was like, how? But yeah, when I was younger, what Jeff Stelling does on Soccer Saturday, that was like the thing that I wanted to do. Like that was the dream job essentially. So yeah, I guess I look up to him, but obviously with the soccer special thing, it gave me an opportunity to kind of do that, and I really enjoyed it. So I think it's definitely something like if an opportunity like that came up, then I'd definitely go for it. But yeah, I'd say he was the main person. But other than that, I don't know. There isn't really many journalists necessarily that I look up to and I'm like, oh, I want to be like them. But hopefully I can make myself be like that people will look at.
Yeah, because we've got some. I don't know what Ryan thinks, but we've got some quite good journalists that I think would be, if like people have come on this podcast, that would happy enough get you in touch with, so that they can help you as well. We've got Courtney, we've got Adam, who's superb at what he does. We've got Eddie, that I don't think he's actually a journalist, but knows everything. So he's superb to learn from, and he would been on the Elm Park Royals. I haven't listened to it yet, but I will listen to it because he was on there.
Yeah, I will as well.
But he's an absolute legend. So let's talk about Reading. And then let's get into the nitty gritty of the Reading. We're going to get onto what's happened recently and get your views of the controversial couple of weeks. Is it a couple of weeks now? Is it a week? I don't really know where it's gone anymore.
Probably about a week and a half.
It's been a week, yeah.
Is it
I
controversial?
think it was last Monday that all the news broke.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Nigel Howell was last Monday, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get your views on that in a minute, but let's talk. So what got you into Reading?
So my uncle has been going since Elm Park. So he's been season ticket every season since. Then my mum started going early 2000s. My dad was going from like the 90s till the Premier League season. Then he stopped. So I've had Reading in my family the entire time. When you're a kid, you support like the big teams or someone else or something like that. So I supported Man City until like I was 13 or 14. And then I kind of thought, and I was like, actually, if I want to be a journalist, I kind of need to go to football games a bit more often. And if my mum and uncle already going, I said, oh, can I go? So I've basically been a fan since then. And my first season as a season ticket holder was the Yap Stam season in the playoff final. So yeah, I've basically been a Reading fan since, and I've just followed them. I already knew all the players from like before I was, but I just never supported them. It was quite weird, but yeah.
Just give it a second. I just text Ryan, and it's taken him really long time to read of what I just texted him. I asked him to ask the next questions because I've been talking.
Yeah, you go. You go. If you ask what I've done so far today, I've just launched up Football Manager on my computer.
I'm disappointed.
I closed it for this.
So let's talk about. So your first season ticket, did you say, was with Yap Stam? What did you think about his type of football, and what did you think about what you saw at that time?
It was boring, obviously, because he's just passing around to the back very much, just waiting for an opening. But when we were attacking, I thought, yeah, I like this. I thought when we were just playing around, like pretty much half the game, we were just playing around the back, boring, just keep passing it and passing it and passing it. Just falling asleep, to be honest, for some of it. So yeah, but when we were going forward, I thought we were pretty good. Roy Behrens on the left, I thought was quite good as well. He was someone that stuck out to me anyway. But yeah, I just thought it was quite boring. And then I think the first season it worked because the league had never seen anything like that before. Obviously, Fulham were very similar that season, so we were like one of the two that kind of started. And obviously, us and Fulham did really well that year. But then the season after, I think Yap Stam just kind of got found out, and he didn't have a plan B, so he pretty much gone on from there.
The only reason I'm shaking my head is Ryan just sent me a text going, "Keep going. I have to find it." I haven't sent you anything. I literally haven't sent you anything. Just if you're going to look at anything, just go on what we talked about with Adam.
Probably why I haven't found it. Then.
Yeah, you will. This is just off the cuff. I'm going with the flow today.
See, that is not you at all.
No,
you never do that.
No, it's not me. And I wanted to try to see how it was, and I really regret my decision.
You should have warned me.
I know, but it's more off the cuff.
Okay, well, off the cuff. I'm curious about your Football Manager save. Who are you and how are you doing?
There you go.
What's my latest one? I have an online one with Bournemouth with about 7 or 8 others in my uni thing, and I took them to 8th first season, which was pretty decent. So now we've gone for so now I'm going into my second season. I've signed Donny van der Beek, Jack Grealish, a couple of others because I've just got loads of money from the Premier League and stuff like that. So spent it. And I sold Callum Wilson for 80 million to Liverpool. So that got me a lot of money as well. Yeah, he's got like 29 goals in 36 games for me. So he's top scorer by like 10. So yeah, I'd like to think my save is going pretty well.
I would say it is, yeah.
I'm letting you keep going. Go on, keep going.
I don't know what to say.
This is the whole point of a podcast, is to talk. Right, so this is a fun one. So let's talk about. So we've gone from Yapstam, and then we went from him, Clement. So before we get into that, I know that you've recently got started working for Tarlast End, if that's correct. So let's tell us what you're doing with them and what you're going to be doing and what we can look out for.
So my role title is video producer. They put up a thing about a month ago, about a tweet saying, "Oh, we're always looking for people." So I applied for both that and writer, and I said I could do either or. They're like, "Yeah, video producer." So I'm doing a weekly roundup every week of everything that's gone on with Reading, and then if there's any big news, I do like a reaction video here and there. I do want to.
Have had the busiest week of your life.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was meant to do a weekly roundup I meant to film them on Sundays and then either get them out on the day or the Monday, but because I was going to wait till Mark Bowen had been announced, and then since then I've been busy and there's a lot more that's going on, so I think I'm just going to wait till Sunday and then recap everything, which will be a very long video. So if you want like 15-20 minutes at least of straight Reading FC, then go to that. But yeah, so I do want to do a bit more content, obviously, once I get to uni and I kind of figured out what's going on. Obviously, the season would have started as well. Then yeah, I'll look into it and discuss it with them. But yeah, hopefully a lot more Reading FC content going on the YouTube.
So is that something that you enjoyed? Is that something that you really like doing, video producing?
Yeah, no, I really enjoy being on the camera. It's something that I want to like improve on as well. So yeah, no, I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking about Reading, so doing it on one of the biggest Reading FC fan pages is it's quite nice, I think.
So you obviously, like, you've had to keep very much up to date with everything that's happened in the last 10 days? Yeah, let's say 10 days. So what's your?
We're not there yet.
Take.
We're not there yet. We're up to Paul bloody Clement. We're not up to the past 10 days.
Well, it's relevant to where we're at in the conversation.
Yeah, but it's not relevant to where we're at, where the whole bloody thing is. I still want to go through Paul Clement and everything.
Okay, let's go down then.
This is not good. Right.
Start over.
I'm so tempted to stop this and redo it all. I am so tempted. You don't understand. I'm not going to, because this is live. This is. We're going to have you back on in the future to redo this utter shambles. So let's talk about those guys.
I bet your podcast isn't like this.
No, definitely.
Oh no! If something screws up, we pause it and start over again, or I do the editing afterwards, so I just edit it out.
Yeah, we don't edit. We don't edit. That's the issue. Because one, I don't know how to, and two, so let's go. Before we get onto the past 10 days and what we go on, that Ryan will probably ask you, and then at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to. I've decided the structure of how we're doing this, right, as we talk. So we're going to talk about what you've Reading fan you've been up to today. We're going to talk about what happened the past 10 days. And then at the end, we're going to do a little quiz between the ones that I ask every guest. Don't look that shocked, Ryan. It's the one that...
No, I thought you was going to say, like, the quiz, how I done it last time. That we were going to do, like,
no,
I was going to ask you, then you asked me, and then... It's all right. I've got 40 minutes or so where I can plan it now.
40 minutes? What, 40? The viewers are going to
Stretch it out.
Sick and tired of me talking for 40 straight bloody minutes.
Yeah, I know how they feel.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about Paul Clement. What was your take of when he was appointed and all of the shit, shall we say, started from there?
Yeah, so when Yapstam got sacked, I remember I was in PE and I heard the news. I looked at my phone. 'Cause I've been saying to my friend for like 2 months, I was like, I want him to go, please. I can't wait for him to go. So then, as soon as I know, I screamed and I ran outside, jumping in the air. Because I was so happy because he'd gone. Because we were
I
the
just
form.
got the image. I just got the image of you running down the touchline, Jose Mourinho style.
Literally, that's what it's like just at a school playground. But yeah, so we were on terrible forms, like 1 in 18 we'd won or something like that, something horrendous. And then it was only a couple of days later Paul Clement was announced, and at the time I thought it was a decent appointment. I didn't really have anything bad to say about him. I thought he was treated unfairly at Derby, so I thought, a good appointment. But when it came to when he was sacked, I thought he was worse than Stam. So he was 2018 was just terrible, I think, for the club in general. I think Paul Clement, he set up. I think the end of the season, obviously, he got us to stay up, which was great. But he set us up in a defensive formation, which was needed anyway. But then I think the game against Derby, the first game of the season, gave me a lot of hope going into it. Obviously, we lost in like the last minute, but I thought we deserved to win it anyway. But then after that, it was just horrendous. The football was poor. The club was being terribly run. Ron Gourlay was terrible as well. We just kept giving big money to players that didn't deserve it. And then, I just thought he was quite crap, to be honest.
So we've gone from Paul Clement, Gomez, the most beautiful man that's ever graced this God's green earth, come in. What was your opinion on his appointment, and what did you think about how he did when he was at the club?
I thought Jose Gomez. I think with Jose Gomez, you look at his record, and I think the first thing that comes to your head is like, oh, he was a brilliant manager. I love him. Blah blah blah. And you look at his record, and you're like, he wasn't actually as good as we thought, to be honest.
No, he was awful.
It's
Even
a shame though,
he
because
was awful.
I never thought I'd heard you say that.
No, he had an awful record. Beautiful, good-looking, gorgeous man, but he was a poor record.
Yeah, I didn't realise actually how bad he was until he left, and I looked at his record and I was like, oh, we've only won like 2 of our first 10. Didn't realise we were doing that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he did something that the club needed, and that was bring the fans and the club back together. He found the missing piece to the puzzle, which was definitely needed at the club. I think that the second half of the 18-19 season was probably one of the best, I'd say, as a fan. I don't know. I think the 3-2 game against Wigan will always live with me. That game was ridiculous. Probably, if there was one game I could relive, it would 100% be that one. But yeah, I thought he was all right. I think the signings that we made, I thought we would do a lot better. Obviously, I think the fact that we got our signings late in pre-season didn't help him at all. I think if we had got them earlier on, which obviously we were unable to do, but if we got them earlier on, I think it might have been a different story. But to be honest, I agree that the club probably should have sacked him at that time. It didn't really look like we were getting anywhere. Because we just got battered by Fulham and then lost to Bristol City, and it was just like...
Yeah, that Fulham game was something else. I remember that game. It was horrible. It was one of the worst games I think I've ever been... I don't think I've ever seen live, because I don't think it was that terribly bad, but I think the overall give-up performance, and I think the fans it got toxic. If I remember, that game was very toxic in the stadium. And then he got sacked, and then the strange appointment of Mr. Bowen come around. What was your first thing? We'll talk about. We're going to get close to him in a minute.
I want to say about when Gomez went, because I think when Gomez went, I could have seen it happening 2 weeks before or 2 weeks later, because we started having a couple of like good performances and looked like we were turning things around, and then he went. I was surprised at the timing.
That seems like a thing we do with managers. Sorry. Seems like a thing we do with managers where we give them the time where they're crap, and then they start to turn things around, and that's when we axe them. Because like Brendan Rodgers was similar, from what I remember anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Yap Stam actually near the end he started picking up a couple of points. The performance of the team overall was picking up, and then he got sacked as well. So yeah, I don't know why. It seems to be a thing we do with managers. You could say the same about Bowen, to be honest, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think I probably have different views to everyone else about Bowen, but we'll get on to Bowen in a minute. I have quite a few different views to everyone else, let's be honest. So let's go on to Bowen. When he first got appointed, what was your first feeling about Bowen, and what was the overall feeling you had? And talk about what you think about his style of play and how he got on.
When I remember hearing he was first appointed. I was at college at the time, and I was a bit like, but he's director of football. That's weird. Why? Okay. So then I looked into it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we've actually appointed our director of football as our manager." I was like, "Oh, okay." That's a first. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it at all. I don't think anyone else has. Like Nigel Adkins going from physio to manager is probably the most similar thing I can think of.
Yeah, that was when he was at
Scunthorpe.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember thinking I was a bit like, oh, I didn't really know how to think about it because I didn't know what he was like as a manager. I knew he was assistant to Mark Hughes for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really know how to think about it. Same as now, to be honest. Like I didn't really know what to think of it. But I'll just back him anyway. But
what did you think of his style of play? Because it's been criticised by some. It's also been praised by others. What did you think? And Ryan, I'll get your point on this as well because you haven't said anything for a while. Is what did you both think of Bowen's style? What he brought? Yeah. What did you both think? Lewis, you go first because I don't want to
go first.
Bowen's style of play. I thought it was what we needed at the time. It wasn't the most attractive football you'll ever see or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way that he was like, we need to toughen up. Like he was 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
I agreed with it for this season. If he had kept going with it into next season, that's when I would have had a problem because it's like, well, you've done that for this first season. Now you want to be a bit more expansive and you want to actually go forward because we should be better. But yeah, I personally didn't really have any problems with it, but it was nice to see. It was nice to see the defence be good again. Because like when you look at our individual like headers and blocks and interceptions and stuff like that, like Liam Moore and Michael Morrison are both quite high on that list. And that's kind of why. So I didn't really have any problems with it. Also, and I thought he was quite decent. To be honest, he had a really good run of form around Christmas time, which I really enjoyed because we beat Fulham. I hate Fulham. But yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I thought he was pretty. I thought he was pretty good. Yeah.
So what was your thinking? So now we're going to go on to what's happened in the past 10 days. Ryan, take it away.
Do you not want me to answer that last question?
Go on then. I forgot I asked you as well. Go on.
No, I agree with what Lewis said there. When he come in, he said the right things, that Reading were becoming too much of a nice team to play. And for a while, he turned that around. But then it kind of went back on itself and we became too soft again. But what we done over Christmas, it's really, really good. So, yeah, I'll be the first to admit, when we appointed him, I was not completely with it, let's say that. I think if you even look on my Twitter, if you'd be bothered to go back that far, but I think I actually tweeted saying 9 points from the next 3 games, otherwise he's got to go. And then 3 games were they were Preston, QPR, and Nottingham Forest, but Nottingham Forest got called off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I was saying that obviously purely as a joke, thinking we get a maximum of 3 points because all three of them were like up the top end of the table at the time. And yeah, since then, I think he's done a fantastic job. Obviously, a shame to see him go.
But has he done a fantastic job?
Yes.
But has he not
I
done?
think
But has he? Okay, so let's put a spin on this. And I saw someone tweet this the other day, and I don't know whether I agree with it or not, but I want to see what you guys think. Was people saying that why are we applauding someone that probably has maybe the top 7 best players in the championship, players individual, not overall as a squad, but he didn't get that run of results. The home form was horrible. Was probably one of the worst under any manager that we've had, I think. Which he said I think he beginning that we need to change the home form around, and he didn't. Defensively, we looked quite fragile after Christmas. Between the December, I think, was when he got it, but then as soon as January hit, it was fragile. Do you think he did a fantastic job, or do you think that he's underperformed?
I think he did a fantastic job because since he come in, we were what? I don't know how it was at the end.
I'm not talking about league position. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about league position.
Neither am I.
We are because you just said we're 1 point of something else.
We were 5th in the form table.
I'm not talking about form. I'm not talking about.
What do you judge a manager on then?
On consistency,
you judge a manager on results.
You judge a manager on consistency, and there was no consistency to his game.
No, but you judged them on points and results. You could be consistently picking up draws. You're still going to get sacked. You can consistently win three out of 5 games. It's still not promotion form. At the end of the day, you give him a full season at that level. We obviously, if we can maintain it, we got playoffs. But you don't judge on that. And because we was in that position when he took over, that's why I ate my words when I said when he took over. I did say 9 points as a joke, and I said give him the time, let him give it a go. And I've said on here before, I don't think he's the person to take us up, to kick us on. He's here to steady the ship. And that's why I was all for keeping him around and letting him give it a go. But obviously, that's all changed now. Okay,
so Lewis, do you think he did what he was meant to do and more? What is your opinion on what happened with him?
I thought he did what he needed to do, which was steady the ship. Because I think I wouldn't go as far as saying he did a fantastic job. I'd say if we had if we had the same kind of form as maybe Christmas time after lockdown, fantastic job, because that would have meant we were halfway near in the playoffs. Like I going into Stoke game, I looked at our run of games and I was like, I reckon we have a very outside chance of getting playoffs. Looking at the games we had, a lot of games low down, besides Brentford and Derby, I think we had a really good run of games. And I think if we can pick up 3 points from this game, I think we've done. And then we won 2 last 7 or 8 or something like that. We didn't do very well at all. But yeah, I thought he did what he needed to do. To be honest, he got us to mid-table. It's the first time where I've gone to the end of the season going, we've been safe for a while. I think the last couple of seasons we've been safe to the last 2 games, 3 games, maybe even the last day. Whereas it was nice to know that we had that security. All right, we're mid-table. Let's build on this for next season. So yeah, I thought he did what he needed to do. To be honest.
Okay, so let's talk about what's happened in the past 10 days then, shall we? With both of you, because I know we've got a little bit out of Ryan, but we want to get what you think as well, Lewis. Were you shocked by the decision about Nigel Howe leaving?
I didn't really know what to think about it at first because I saw someone, I think Courtney, it might have been Courtney actually, he put it up around midday on Monday and I saw it and I was a bit like, I'm not surprised because obviously Di seems to be someone that's quite stubborn and impatient from what what I've gathered anyway, that he wants to do everything for the club to get him up. But Nigel Ho was a bit like, well, no, you can't do that because this and this, financial, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I think it probably was better if Ho stayed. But I think Dai Young would probably got very impatient that someone was not letting him do what he needed to do. So he was like, right, we're just going to get rid of you and I'll bring my own person in who will allow me to do these things. So yeah, it's probably going to be best for the club's security that he did stay. However, if Dai is really wanting to go for promotion, then it was the best, I guess.
I think the telling point was, I don't know what you thought, Ryan, was Nigel Howe left, and you knew as well, Lewis, is Nigel Howe left, and what was it, 4 days later, Ovi signed a 4-year deal.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 days later. I think on the Friday? I think it was on Friday.
Saturday.
It was a Friday, minutes
yeah,
after
no,
it was in the
Tottenham
evening.
game.
Yeah. I was thinking we played Tottenham on the Saturday, not the Friday.
No, yeah, we played the Friday and the minutes after. So, do we think that Nigel Howe was one that was stopping the move? And then as soon as he went, the owners went YOLO?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Do you think it was a good... Okay, let's put this for both of you. Is it a good signing?
Yes.
What, Ajaria?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
even if he doesn't play much, we're still going to make money. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Do you think the 4-year contract is a good idea?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because over them 4 years, his value is only going to go like that.
Absolutely continues anyway. I think once he gets his end product, I think people compare him a lot to Eberezer, right? And I think dribbling and getting past players-wise, Ajaria is definitely better. However, it's the end product that Eze has got on Ajaria, and that's why he's got that Premier League move. He's the one getting the goals and the assists. Ajaria is doing everything but that. So he scored like 3 goals last season, whereas Eze's got probably double figures. If Ajaria can get the goals and assists part of his game, then he's Premier League quality.
So then it was announced, I think it was that later that afternoon, that Reading were going off to Portugal to go and meet the new manager, which still hadn't been announced yet by Reading that Bowen had left. But they appointed a manager. I still don't get how you could do that. Anyway, so Bono. I'm going to call him Bono. I don't care now. I can't say it. Bono.
Call him VP.
VP. That's vice president. That's the
what?
first. It's like vice president. That just reminds me of. Anyway, we got a new manager. What is your thinking about him? Do you think it's going to be a good appointment? What is your take on him?
I think it could be a good fit. I'm not really sure what football he thought. I don't know. I think I'm like every other Reading fan. I have no idea who he was until about a week ago. So yeah. But looking at him and what he's done with Serbia and obviously staying at Chicago Fire as well, it sounds like he's not one of those managers that jumps from club to club. He sounds like he stays there and he's got a plan, and he stays for a while and tries to fit it. And I also think that if he can replicate what he did with Serbia with us, hopefully we have a really good academy and a bunch of under-23s that could easily, I think, slot into the first team this season and get minutes. If he can bring them through and see how good they are and play them a bit more, then I think he could definitely be a success. I don't think this season we should be going for promotion with him. It should be next season. But if we can bring through some of the youngsters and under develop into solid championship players this season, so that next season we can go for it, then I think that would have been better. But obviously with Dai, it sounds like he just wants to go for it. It sounds like he's going hard or going home. So yeah, we'll have to see. But I think Paunovic could be really good.
I think under people were listening to Chicago Fire fans quite a lot and they were listening to people in America too much without making the decision for themselves. And I think this is one of the traits that Reading fans have. I very much was like that until I think it was before Yapstam, where I think it was Brendan Rodgers when he came in. I really wanted him to do well, and I really wanted to do it. But for me, I judge by people what they do at the club, not by what I've heard before. Because all I'm hearing at the moment is Chicago Fire fans treating him like an ex-girlfriend, but they don't want anyone else to have her. Do you know what I mean?
You don't last 4 years in the job by being mediocre.
And you also don't win the under-20 World Cup or Euros with Serbia, who probably, I think, was the least nation team to win it, and he goes on to win it. So there's something about, and I think it proves with the links that he's come up with Atletico Madrid, with his former playing career, and a few of the Serbia and the Benfica CDM that looks like could be on his way to us. We've got that's got announced today, Ian Massant, from Chelsea, under 20 player. Looks like there's a common theme going on. But with me, I think people are too quickly to judge. Look, I saw someone retweet the Bowen announcement that he got the job, and I read through the comments, and I could pick at least every single one of those that said Snake or Bowen out were the ones that say, oh, why is he leaving? Why is he been going? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, right, you can't moan that he's crap, and then when they do something about it, moan that you want him to stay. You can't have your cake. You can't. Was it? You can't have your cake and eat it all. You can't bake a cake and eat it at the same time or something like that. But I get it. So, okay, it was announced that they were still out there. Then they had a friendly which ended 0-0. But apparently, everyone got. I think there was a lot of 90 minutes under the belt for a lot of players. There wasn't that much, according to reports. It went on a lot longer than 90 minutes, just so that everyone can have a longer game time and match fitness before they start Saturday. So what is your feeling about Bowen leaving? Are you upset that he's gone? Were you angry? What's your feeling?
I didn't want him to leave as manager, but I definitely didn't want him to leave the club as a whole. I would have, if he had gone from manager to director of football again, albeit it's a really weird situation, but I think Bowen as director of football would have been a very smart move, and I think he did a really good job of doing that anyway. So I think it would have been a really good move. I didn't want him to leave as manager anyway, because I watched the game against Gillingham, and after that, yes, it's Gillingham, but at the same time, I got a lot of hope from that. I wasn't expecting that new system, that kind of a performance as well. I thought the players really stuck out in that game. So after that, and obviously what he'd done this previous season, I was very much looking forward to this season under Bowen. Then obviously everything changed around very quickly. I'd rather he had stayed as director of football, to be honest. I didn't want him to leave as manager. I definitely wanted him to stay as director of football if he wasn't manager. So the fact that he's left the club, I'm quite sad about, to be honest. I think he's a good guy, and I think he would have done his best for the club no matter what. So I really wish he had stuck around, but I wish him the best anyway.
Ryan, what's your feeling about Bowen leaving altogether?
Obviously, I'm very disappointed because we spoke about it on last pod. Just what Courtney said last time around with his connections in the game, that will be a big miss, I think.
But will it? Because,
I think it will.
But by the sounds of things, we've got someone else who's even got bigger connections that's helping us.
Let's be honest. If we had a choice between Kia connections or Bowen connections, I think Kia just edges it. Especially with the...
Yeah.
Have you seen the list of players he's got?
I'm trying to be unbiased here, Mark.
I'm not.
I think he just edges it. It's a tough one to call, but we're going with Kia.
Just okay.
I would have liked to see them work together and put them connections as one, but obviously there's more to it, and you got to wish him all the best wherever he ends up, because I hope he gets another job in management, gets a chance somewhere, because he's done what was required of him this season, and he's done it successfully.
I think he said he wanted to get us in the playoffs, didn't he? So he hasn't done exactly what was required of him. Anyway, but if we're going to compare, so Bowen's been in the game 20 years, and then Kia, I've just Google searched his players that Kia has to his books. He's got Philip Coutinho, he's got Sergio Regulon, that's at Real Madrid, William, Andreas Pereira, Cazal, whatever his name is, from PSG, Ricardo Riquelme, who is on who could be on loan at us, Rui Pedro, or permanent, depending on what goes on the next few days. Some of the name, especially that Rui Pedro, what a player he is. Anyway, I'm not. I think I'm not one of these fans that I wanted Bowen to stay. I wanted Bowen to go completely, because if he's not going to be manager, for me personally, I don't think it would have been a good idea for him to stay on as director of football, because he's going to be pissed. He's not going to be happy at the point of, people will say it's a demotion. People will say as it's not what he liked and what he want to do. So what do you do when you're angry? You do what you want. You don't really listen to other people. I know I do. I could be a stubborn twat. So for me, and I'm open and honest to say that, but for me, I think it's good that he's gone. I think the outpour of anger from the fans is stupid. I think because, one, you've never met the bloke. Two, you don't know whether this manager's going to be any good yet because you haven't actually given him a chance to actually do anything yet. And three, why not give a bloke a chance? And this is going to be a weird comparison, and I don't want this to be a comparison. And I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off with this. But he's never had anything in English football, nor did Marcel Bielsa. Yes, Marcel Bielsa had a history of being one of the greatest coaches to ever grace the planet, according to Pep Guardiola and some of the big names. But he never come to English football before. There was massive question marks around him before he come. Why is he coming to a championship team? Why is he play? Look what he did. What did he do? He got fans into the stadium in Leeds, which they never really had before. He got people in. He got people sitting. People going up to Leeds games, taking over Medeski like they normally did, and then actually coming to enjoy a game. So why are we not giving this bloke a chance? And why is everyone criticising it? Do you know what the one thing that pisses me... I'm off on the rant now. I told you at one point. I knew at one point I would go off on a rant. The thing that pissed me off the most is I saw a tweet by someone. I'm not going to name that person because I don't know whether they watched the podcast or not. But if you do, this is directly straight at you. Is he tweeted... Are you going to be renewing your season ticket now with how the club's going to be run now? Why wouldn't you go? This is the thing. This is the twats like that piss me off, right? Because why are you not renewing your season ticket? Because your feelings got hurt a little bit. Why don't you grow up? Grow some fucking balls and go and support your team. Because I didn't realise that if you don't go and pay your money to watch them, we're not going to be able to spend money on doing whatever we want. We're not be able to. If we get to the Premier League, what are you going to do then? You're going to turn up then because he actually was right in what he did. So you're not going to turn up this season because of your little feelings, because you're not going to like it, because he appointed someone that you don't like, because he didn't go on Twitter, Mr. Dye, and go, "Oh look."
I think it's unfair saying
Hold
he
on,
appointed
I haven't
something you
finished
don't
yet.
like.
I haven't finished yet.
It's not he doesn't like him; he doesn't know him.
Exactly. Di goes on Twitter and goes, David 7776592 It's not the person. I'm just naming stupid shit. He's angry with me that he's not going to get a season ticket because I sat Bowen. I might as well reverse the decision now because one person isn't going to like it. Shut the fuck up. And I'm sick of people going, the Reading way. Reading have never had a way ever. The only way we've ever done something good once was when we signed Doyle and Long. We've done fuck all. We should not be comparing ourselves to a Brentford. We should not be comparing ourselves to a Derby. We should not compare ourselves to Wolves. Well, I would like us to, because I like to do what Wolves did. But we shouldn't be doing any of that. We should do what's right for us. Di is an owner of a business. We are a business to him. He has to do what's right. He is not a multi-billionaire because he wants to listen to someone on Twitter upset that they might not renew their season ticket. Grow up. Fucking twat. Anyway. That felt good.
I think the with everything going on at the moment, I think the club we are most like is Wolves. Because
Yeah,
I was talking about it the other day with Kia. I think he's a lot like, is it George Mendes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be in Europe in 2 years.
We're a lot like Wolves and Nottingham Forest, especially with us now getting players from Benfica and Atletico Madrid and getting all these players on loan for us to eventually go up. But I also think I think it's more with, to your early point, Mark,
There was a
point
lot
with
of
Paunovic
points.
is
Sorry.
that, it was early on. I think I don't think it's people criticising Paunovic because it's Paunovic. I think it's people criticising Paunovic because of what has happened overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more because people were happy with Bowen and seeing him go in. But instead, the club have just randomly changed that and put in a new manager who no one knows at all. And it's a bit like, oh, why did you do that when you didn't need to?
You say that, but we discussed this probably on the podcast last week, Monday, I think it was. But were people happy with Bowen? Because what I see was after the last game of the season, people saying, we need to get rid of him. We need to get someone else in.
You said that last time. You said like 70% of people were saying Bowen should go.
So like I said before, if people were happy for him to go and the club actually do it, why are you getting angry? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this ties in with your point. So you voiced your opinion many times about how the Reading fans are very fickle and things like that. Right? I agree with you 100%. I've always said it. I've said it to my uncle, I've said it to my mum, I've said it for years. Like, I think it does also contribute to our home form as well about how bad it is, because I think that we give the players way too much crap when they're playing. And so, like, I just think it's awful. And I think that I think the reason we do better away is because there's less of Reading fans there, which is, it's a bold statement, but I think it's true. I don't think they like. I
don't think that's a bold statement.
We're terrible fans. We criticise 24/7. We don't support.
No,
we are supporters, and we don't.
The thing is, saying that they said that there's pressure from the fans. So why were we still so shit at home after there was no fans in the stadium? Whereas there's no pressure from the fans.
I think it's the stigma of Medeski in general. I think the issue is they're probably, even if people were at Medeski, that half-empty stadium was probably the same as what it is when a normal home game anyway, because half of Reading don't turn up anymore because they cry like little bitches. Is the thing that annoys me the most, and the thing that gets me the most is if the owners tomorrow went to Barcelona and said, right, I'm going to pay Messi 700 million to buy him to Reading. I'm going to pay him 700 million a year on wages so he can come to Reading, right? The greatest player, joint greatest player of all time with Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't care what anyone says. He's the joint greatest player of all time with Ronaldo. I will not try and compare the both because we're lucky enough to have them both. Reading fans will turn around
on the fence.
No, I don't see on the fence. I used to. I'm always Ronaldo, but Messi is just. It's going to be such a shame when he leaves the game.
Yeah, I do agree with what you say there. Like, why compare them when you should appreciate them?
Just appreciate them both. Let's just love them both. Yeah. I don't care anymore.
They're not going to be here for much longer. So.
Exactly. Right. We will still get people going, financial fair play. We're going to break it. Finances. We're not going to be. How's he going to play in the Championship? They've got kicks all over the place. It's just like, we could do anything as a club. I think we're investing in a team. We spent. I think I saw a comment and I had a moan at someone on Twitter the other day when it says, "I will not buy my season ticket while the Dies are in charge because they're ruining the club." I was like. So I took that as a bit of a twatty move. So I said, so the way that he's ruined the club, I want to get your opinion on this, is ruining the club is spending, 20 million in the transfer market last season on Puskas and everyone. Not only did he do that, he's also built the training ground, which was 50 plus million, or 100. I don't know how much it was for the new training ground, but it's expensive to build one of them. Not only has he done that, he's pumped 40 million into the club. 30 million or whatever how much is into the club to help us get by through COVID and everything else. Not only has he done that, we've got stadium rights to ourselves. We've also owned outside land as well around it, which they're changing and doing whatever they're doing to it as well. So at what point has he ruined Reading?
Because they won't accept a shit offer for one of our best players. And
Because we
I
won't
don't see the
accept
problem
6
with
million
that.
for Swift.
I'd say Dye is actually. I think he's been one of the best. Since Majewski left, he's been the best owner we've had by a million.
100%.
He's pumped so much money in. He's put money in. He's backed pretty much every manager so far. He's done, and when a bid comes in, the only problem I have is that sometimes he can be a bit too stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
Like said with what's gone on recently and Danny Loader and everything. Like, I think he needs to relax a little bit when it comes to stuff like that. But apart from that, I think he's done a pretty good job.
I don't even think he's to blame for Danny Loader's situation. He kept him at the club. It's not his fault that whoever was in charge didn't give him the game time. I'm sure if Loader played 36 games in the league last season, he'd have signed a new contract.
Yeah, he kept him because he didn't want to let him go. I think at the time, 7 million for Danny Loader. Now we would have gone. We would, they got a bit of their hands off of that. But I think at the time, if Guy is saying no, we don't want to let him go, that's probably because we want him to play. But Owen never gave Loader a chance. That's like he played in the FA Cup. He scored a goal against Blackpool. I can't think of anything else he's done significant since then. He did nothing. I think he's overrated personally, but even still, like he should have been given way more of a chance than he was.
I'm going to take a bold statement.
You say he's overrated, but he never got the chance to prove. Like,
I don't think you could call him
setup.
Yeah, I don't think you could be called overrated if someone like Porto has come in and he's signed the very first. Well, they've now got 2. But he's now become the first ever Englishman to ever sign for a Portuguese team. No, not Portuguese, because Eric Dyer was out there and Ryan Gould, but ever signed for Porto.
Yeah.
Porto is is the second, maybe top 2 best academies in the world. Top 2, top 3 best academies in the world. And for someone like Porto to put their money on Loader shows how shit our management team is.
And the thing is, all through the England setup, he was hyped. And he's he's also won the under-17 World Cup.
Yeah, he was
out there as well.
He was a backup player, I think, in that tournament.
And he played as well, and he did all right. And it's like, for me, Gomez tried with him. I tried to get him in the system, and I don't think Bowen was as youthy as everyone wants to make out he was. Because he still played the 2 dumbasses, McCleary and Gunter, over the youth players that could have stayed on and played. You got Osso could have had a heck of a lot more opportunities to stay and play if we didn't keep Gunter, and if we could get rid of him. McCleary could have gone ages ago, and Loader could have cut him from the left hand side like McCleary never been able to do in his whole entire career. And you've got other players that come in. I don't know. I think we've got to really look, and I think the main reason, and I don't know whether you've listened to the podcast that happened on Monday, I hope that you had, was we discussed about the appointment of the manager. And I think the really selling point was, and I think that there is a system, and I think if you look at the transfer targets as well, there is a transfer plan. And I'm going to be bold in saying this. I think it's youth, young, hungry players. Look at the players that we've got in, just Laurent, hungry, young player that's come up through the ranks. Ricardo Riquelme, tipped as one of the biggest stars in Spain in the youngsters, wants to leave to get first team football, and he will if we play him.
Even Ejaria
is getting. Is he? Yeah, getting. We've got Richards getting game time over Abita because of the of it. I think. I don't know. For me, Ejaria, yes, I get what you meant now. My brain was not switched on during what you said. Anyway, but I get what you meant now. Is young, under 22, under 23 players that have a point to prove. I don't know what
we've got a young squad as well.
Yeah, I think there was something on. I'll try and find the image on my phone now, but we played.
I'm going to try and most you talk.
Players or something like that. Hold on, let me look at this. Or something like that. But we played the most youth players in. Right, here it is. English clubs with the highest percentage of homegrown talent in the Championship. Reading are top of that. which is so we had Manchester United were top. This is top 4 leagues as well. Manchester United were top with 40.7%. Crew, obviously, League 2, 40%. Chelsea were then third with 29.6%, and then us fourth, 27.6%. We're fourth out of the top 4 leagues in England. And first in the Championship, English clubs with the highest percentage of homegrown talent in the first team squad.
I think we're really building for the future as well, and that shows with Puskas on a 5-year contract, Ajari on a 4-year contract. Not to mention, like, in our academy, even like we've got a solid keeper in Raphael, but he's 33 years old now. He's not
Southwood, CBC
but
as
to
well.
replace him, we've got Boyce Clark, Anderson, Southwood, and then like our back 4. Obviously, Yeardom isn't old. It's like 26, 27. Richards, youngster. Then
He's the same age as me.
You're the same age.
Oh my lord, it makes me feel old. My God.
You've got experience with Morrison, but then look at the youngsters to learn from Morrison and Moore. McIntyre, Holmes.
Like, Yeardom's 28.
Dorset.
28.
Oh, he's a year older than me. Love of Jesus.
We've got a lot of good players.
A young squad.
Yeah, and I think if we add quality youngsters that may not be the ones that can start, but can definitely impact a game either now or in the future, like Ricardo Raquelme. I can't believe how big tipped he is. Chelsea, that Massat, I've just been looking while you guys were talking, and he's very highly rated. Some of them comparing him to being the next Ashley Cole through Chelsea fans. And Chelsea never overestimate a youngster. So you sort of get
where they sent him out on loan for 6 years.
No, he's never been out on loan.
Not yet, anyway.
No, he's never been out on loan.
This will be the first of many.
Yeah, he's been the first. He hasn't gone to Holland yet, which he started off with, but they always go to Vitesse. But I think there's going forward. So let's talk about what you think's going to happen. So we have these sort of questions that we asked Adam, and we also asked Johnny when he come onto the podcast as well. Hopefully you listen to them both. And we've got a set of these quiz questions.
I've done it.
Have you done a quiz?
I told you, give me 40 minutes.
We'll do you one in a minute, but we're going to do quick fire questions, okay, for you, and then you could do the quiz with Ryan to finish off. So, who's the best manager you've seen at Reading?
That's a hard question for you.
If we're going from season ticket holder, it'd probably have to be Yap Stam first season. But from what I know, Brian McDermott.
Oh, not Koppel.
Not Koppel.
I was like 4 or 5 when Koppel was around.
I feel so old when you say stuff like that. Worst manager you've seen?
Paul Clement.
Best transfer you've seen
every time.
Mate. It is the running theme with that
one. Every time it's Clement and there's no hesitation.
There's whatsoever. No, it literally isn't. The best transfer you've seen the club make?
John Swift on a free.
Worst transfer you've seen the club make?
Sonny Luco.
I'm answering these in my head and I've got everyone right so far.
Who do you want us to sign in this transfer window if you were in charge? If you had to name 3 players.
3 players, right. Okay.
Are you going to do it the way that we had to do it the other day, like a backup left back, centre back?
No, we're not going to do any of that.
No, okay.
Just 3 players that you want the club to sign.
Does it have to be realistic? The players we've linked with? Right, okay. Edgeler, because we need a defensive midfielder. Mm-hmm. Zivkovic, because we need a winger. And... I don't know. I'm trying to think of other players we've been linked with now. I don't know.
Raquel?
We'd need... To be fair, I wish we'd got Morgan Fox from Sheffield Wednesday. I thought that would have been a really good signing if we had got him. He's gone to Stoke. Pardon?
Hasn't he been sent off against us?
No, that was Danny Fox.
Danny Fox for Forest, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think Morgan Fox would have been a really good signing for left back.
Where do you think Reading will finish this season?
I don't know.
That's really a question we'll have to ask you again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, It's such a hard question at the moment. I really don't know. If we could finish top or bottom, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'll go 10th.
Okay. Who do you think is going to be the biggest influence this season?
John Swift or Raphael, one of the two.
Okay.
It's going to be the same.
Who do you think is going to go missing?
Go missing. I think Josh Lawrence might actually.
Okay.
I don't know why. I have a really bad feeling that the foreign manager might not take to him.
Apparently, he played the whole 90 minutes.
I know. I don't know. I feel like it's just the kind of thing where a young League One player comes in and then a foreign manager sees him. He's like, no. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
You never know. Right. So now I'm going to pass it over to Ryan. You've got don't be too long with this because I think we've gone over an hour already. But you've how many questions you got?
15.
Okay. So you know the quiz.
I'm impressed. 15 in 40 minutes.
I'll give you that. It took me about 2 hours, I think, to try and get your question sorted. Right, off you go.
Right, I'm going to tell you now as well. If you watch the questions that I asked Mark, you should get a couple of them at least. First one, I don't expect you to get at all. Quite hard. Mark, you can answer as well. But how many years did Reading play at Elm Park?
Oh, for fuck.
It was. Oh, what was it? It was like.
I'll give you multiple choice if you like.
Yeah, give him multiple.
Yeah, okay, so 99, 102, 104, or 107.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, that is a very, very harsh question. They do get easier.
I'm gonna. Oh, I reckon it's one of the lower two.
It's not. It's over 100.
I'll go 102 then.
All right, Google.
I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on it now.
Is it 102?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
He got that question right.
Right. You can keep scoring instead of just Googling the answers.
All right, that's one.
Okay. Next one. What cup did Reading win in 1988?
Stimol Cup.
Yeah. That's easy.
Yeah.
It's all we ever talk about.
To be honest, I still don't understand what it is.
No, neither do I. Neither do I.
Like a shitty, FA trophy sort of cup, wasn't it?
Oh, right.
Something like that.
I think so.
Okay. In 1983, Reading had to fight off suggestions of a merger with which other club?
Oxford United, I think.
Yeah. Bonus point. Can you name the potential club?
Do you mean like what it would have been called?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I know this. Is it Thames Valley Royals or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got 3. 4.
Go on, imagine that. Okay. At which ground did Reading get promoted from Division 2 in 2002?
Oh, my God.
This is stuff that gets talked about by Reading fans on Reading's Twitter. Yeah, because that was on Reading. Yeah, 100%.
Christ, I don't call Reading FC Twitter. No. I don't know. I might not have been born by that point.
What was the question again?
At what stadium did Reading get promoted in 2002?
So, League
Oh,
One
I know
now.
this one.
That's what
Yeah.
I know this one
told
now.
you.
Brentford.
I haven't got a clue. I don't know.
I just
He
bloody told
the
you.
answer
I
as
know
well.
you did. I think you said Brentford, but I didn't want to cheat or anything.
But he's
like
not a cheat.
I knew that one
it's
because there's always that picture of Jamie Curtin with his top backwards.
Exactly.
It's always that picture. Yeah, all right.
Right, another one. This is one that you should get if you listened to the pod last time out. Who scored the first goal under Yap Stam?
Oh, I know this because I was there. John Swift.
I
remember it
too, and I still
completely.
didn't know what it was.
I think it was McCleary with the corner. He put it low down, and then John Swift just hit it, and it went straight curled into the top corner. I remember that goal. 100%.
Do we get a bonus point for describing the goal?
I'm giving him.
Yeah, so,
I'm giving him.
I don't know. It was my
for
first goal season goal. I remember because it was a 1-0 win against Preston. Because I remember 10-0 Watson plays. I was like, oh, he might be decent, and then I haven't seen him since.
So far, you've got 7 out of 5. Right.
Lovely.
Who was Steve Coppell's first signing as Reading manager?
God.
This is another one from the Mark Pod. This is question 6.
Okay.
He's got all of them right so far.
No,
I'm just guessing. I'm going to guess this one. I'm probably going to guess one. I'm going to go Ben Little, but I don't know.
No, it's Ivor Ingemarson.
Right, okay. I was going to say,
It's
it's going to be
one that
one
I
of the
asked
106,
Mark
but
as
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Who missed the penalties in the shootout against Huddersfield?
Oh, God, don't remind me. Jordan Avita and Liam Moore.
Yeah.
Was it just them two?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I want to apologise for bringing up that.
I remember that.
PTSD.
I remember where they both went as well. Ugh.
One's still rising now, isn't it?
Yeah, Liam Moore's was over the bar, and I remember
Still
Jordan
hasn't
went.
come back.
I said Jordan Beater ran up for it, and I knew where he was going. I was like, he's going bottom left, 100%. He went bottom left, saved it.
Okay, right. Another one that was on Mark's questions. Who did Reading play in the last game at Elm Park?
Man City. Why not? I don't know.
Kind of close with the City, but it was Norwich.
Oh, if you give me 5 minutes, I was Googling.
Wait, you say Man City? You say Man City were close to Norwich?
No.
With the City. I said you was close with City.
Oh, right. I was going to say they're on
Norwich City.
They're nowhere near each other.
Right. Who replaced Steve Coppell as Reading manager?
Was it not Brendan Rodgers?
Yes, it was. Have you lost count yet, Mark?
Oh, I think he's on 13.
Okay.
He's completely smashed us.
He's
Completely smashed us.
Yeah. Well, you're just giving him points left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
You're googling the answers that you don't know. What club did we sign Adam Lafondra from?
Rotherham.
Oh,
Yeah. How many times have we reached the FA Cup semi-final?
How many? Oh God, how many times? Well, definitely at least once. No, I'm just going to stick with 1.
2.
What
was the last time?
Like 1927.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be ages ago.
Ages ago.
Huh?
Ages ago.
Oh.
How much did John Medeski pay for the land around the stadium when it was built?
I remember hearing he paid 50 million for the stadium, so I'm just going to go with that. But
No, not the stadium, just the land.
I
Just
Pound.
£1.
Oh, right. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Okay. Another
It
one.
was a dump
See,
site, that's why.
yeah. It's why you've got all the little methane vents around. If you see them when you're at the Medeski, the little like grey things that stick out the ground.
Right. Okay.
Right. See how much attention you've been paying to Mark here. Who scored the goal to take Reading up in 2001/2 at Griffin Park?
Jamie Curtin. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. The second from last one. Who headbutted Neil Warnock in the 2004-05 season?
I remember.
Oh my
this.
God! I need to look this up afterwards.
I was like, he didn't headbutt. He didn't headbutt. He kicked him.
Did he kick him?
He kicked him. He never headbutted. And I remember this because it was the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I've never known about this.
Yeah.
I really need to look this up.
It was Reading versus Sheffield United, and it was
Keith Gillespie got sent off, didn't he?
No, because he was a substitute. He was substitute.
Yeah, he run on, kicked someone on.
Neil Warnock told him to kick Stephen Hunt when he got on, because you could see Neil Warnock doing like the leg kick movement. And Wally Downs, who was the one who did it in the end, was stood there and he looked.
Tell him the fucking answer.
I don't care. He's not going to guess it. And he told him.
I'm not.
And Wally Downs saw what was going on. And as soon as Jason Gillespie went like that and got him, Wally Downs got out. And I remember this with the clearest day because I looked over and it was right in front of Warnock and the Reading bench. And Wally Downs had just gone up straight to Warnock and just kicked him. I mean, there was a full-out brawl between the players and the staff. Oh,
yeah.
That was one of the greatest.
Reading and Sheffield United weren't the best of friends in the mid-2000s from memory.
No, it's just Neil Warnock, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with Reading and Neil Warnock. We're just
belling.
It's a love-to-hate relationship.
Yeah.
That's why he hasn't retired, because he wants one last trip to the Medeski.
Yeah.
With fans, obviously.
Yeah.
Right, last question.
Greatest home game.
Pele, Jadilson Gomez for Tim Denner. What country was he born in?
Oh, for God's sake.
See, he knows it.
Africa somewhere.
He ain't never going to
No.
get that.
No. I don't. Does he not represent an African country?
Yeah,
Right,
he represents Burkina Faso, I think it is.
I'm going to say he was born in France.
No.
Portugal.
Yep.
Portugal.
So how many did he get?
12.
I think he got 3 wrong, but then 2 bonus points.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah.
I'm going with 13.
So he got 14.
13, 14 altogether, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm quite impressed.
Right.
Especially when the first question was, how many years did they play at a stadium before you was born?
That was the most annoying question out of all of them.
Because I knew it was the 90s, and obviously, well, the 90s it was gone, but I didn't know whether we'd always been there from 1871 or not. I just
I've
had
got a
to
question
guess.
for both of you. What was the first ever game? I think it was the first ever game. But the first ever friendly game that was played at Medeski. It was in 1999. Because I was at the game.
I don't care about friendlies.
Well, you don't care about
I don't know.
It was the first ever home game that was ever played at Medeski. And it ended...
What, competitive?
No, friendly.
Oh, okay.
First ever game played at Medeski.
I don't know, is it a big team?
No, yeah, it was Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
It was Newcastle. It ended 0-0. And I sat in the North Stand. That was the first ever game. I think I moved to Reading 6 months before, 6-7 months before, because I lived in London. But I moved to Reading, and that was the first ever 90-minute game that I ever went to. Because I went to Crystal Palace's ground, because that's where I used to live near close. But yeah, but anyway, thank you ever so much for coming on, Lewis. You are absolute diamond. We will have you on again and do this so much better. But I refuse.
I'm sorry, Mark wasn't very well organised today.
No, I was, but I wanted to try something different because I'm never doing that again. But you live and you learn. But we will have you on again in the future. So we'll talk a little bit more about how you're getting on at uni. We'll either do it in January or we'll do it at the end of the season. We'll have an end of season roundup of everything. But we will have you back on, and because you are an absolute diamond and you were absolutely brilliant for coming on today. So coming on, Ryan. Yeah, can't say any more about you, can I? I love you. Really.
I'm getting replaced. 100%.
You will never get replaced unless you piss me off. But thank you.
I'm getting replaced.
Twatted. So thank you both very much for coming on. Right, remember everyone as well, mental health. We want to ask you a lot of questions. Me and Ryan were talking about this the other day, but we don't know. So in the comments down below, we want to do a little bit more about mental health and do a little bit more awareness. So please write in the comments or tweet us of what you think we should do realistically. If it's walking, make it not too far because I'm fat. But unless it's walking to food, absolutely fine.
Yeah, this is something like to be fair, I text Mark. It must have been
yesterday, I think.
Nah, it was bang on midnight on Tuesday. Exactly midnight.
It was. I was asleep. I saw it in the morning. Redding just tweeted something. Well, I was ready for support. So Reading have just tweeted, plans are being put into place and preparations being made. The scenes to make sure that we can welcome fans back to Medeski as soon as we know it's safe and possible. We'll be bringing news of when this might can. The reason why they tweeted this is because the EFL communications have just tweeted saying supporters will be able to make a return to EFL fixtures next week.
With trial games, isn't it?
Yeah, with 2 fixtures
Cambridge.
confirmed. I'm fucking talking. With 2.
I'm just getting to the point.
Fuck yourself. Confirmed as 2 tests in line with the government scheme, and it looks like one of them is Cambridge and someone else. So it looks like they're trying to get everything. Fuck yourself. Need to come back. So let us know in the comments and tweet us what you think. Instagram us as well. Please go and follow our Instagram. We're nearly at 100 followers on Instagram, so please go and check us out. and give us a follow. And we do exactly the same, a little bit less than what we do on Instagram as we do on Twitter, but I'm trying to reflect on that. Please go and follow us on Facebook as well. We have a Facebook page, so please go check us out. We're doing a lot more stuff on there as well in the future as well. But if there's any news that comes out, we will be going on Periscope, on live on Twitter. So put notifications on for our, if we tweet anything or do anything, you might want to come and join us, and we will always interact with you guys as well. Don't forget, we are back Monday, hopefully with Courtney, to talk about if anything happens over the weekend. We'll see how it goes, but if not, please go and check out the other podcasts we have available. We are now on SoundCloud instead of Podbean because they're dickheads. So please go and check us out on SoundCloud. And yeah, make sure this video is booming. I want this video to be the most viewed. I actually don't want this video to be the most viewed because I was awful in this one. But I want you guys to go and share this video. I want you guys retweet, give us feedback, tell us how shit I am. I don't really care.
Very.
Fuck yourself. Right.
Oh, you want it on Twitter?
No, not on Twitter, not at all. My DMs will close if it happens. But anyway, if there's anything you guys want to talk to us about privately, our DMs are open. We are happy enough to listen, and we will happy enough point you in the right direction to somewhere that can be able to help you a little bit more than what we can. So be safe, be kind to each other, look out for everyone. You don't know what everyone's going through, so please make sure you are respectful and kind to others, unlike me, who will call people dickheads and twats. So, everyone, have a great time. And I have a really bad mouth. This side of my face really hurts. So the bye could be a bit interesting today. So let's give it a go. Bye. Oh, fuck, that actually hurts. Oh, bye. Ryan, wave, dickhead. Bye. Lewis, wave and say bye.
Bye.